Welcome to Known Through Connection. I'm your host, Jess Cullicott. This is a podcast about presence over performance. Not that performance isn't important, but presence is where you build connection. And today we're building connection with our guest, Creighton Clewis. Creighton, welcome to Known Through Connection. It's great to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and talk with you about this.
I'm excited to have you too. It's been so fascinating to see your journey over Instagram and social media and for our paths to cross. And I just knew you were somebody that Known Through Connection had to get to know and hear your story. So I'm excited to get to spend a little bit of time with you.
Yeah.
Creighton, let's start with our connection. So you and I met through Iron Heaven Gym, and that's actually where we're at today. So thank you to Tim Rexius, Brittany Rexius, and Nick Langer for letting us host today at Iron Heaven in one of the posing rooms.
Yes.
So we'll see if there's B-roll of somebody posing. Probably not. But thank you, Iron Heaven, for letting us be here. And so, Creighton, do you remember at all how we got connected? I think somewhere back in the day, one of us posted on Instagram, and then we connected through that channel. Do you remember? Do you have any memory of that?
I don't remember, but it was most likely something from Instagram. And then I think we ran into each other in person.
Yes.
And in the communal area.
Yes. And I remember you told me how to use the sauna. You encouraged me to use the sauna.
I did.
Which, oh my gosh, they put the sauna like at 190 degrees here, and I can only take like 3 minutes, and it's so hot.
I'm used to it. Very used to it.
Oh my gosh. What do you do in the sauna?
I just
Like how long?
up to sometimes 20 minutes if I
Oh
can
my
stand
gosh.
it.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
You just sit there and you just relax and breathe and
Oh,
don't bring your phone in there or anything or else it might get destroyed. But
I have brought my water bottle in there, and it's one of those insulated kinds, and I realized really fast that was a bad idea.
It gets very hot.
It gets really hot. Yes. Yes. Yeah, one of the things and we can talk more about community here later, but one of the things I really appreciate about Iron Heaven, the name of the gym is a little intimidating if you're not like, out really having a lot of experience lifting. You think, oh, Iron Heaven is probably a bunch of meatheads and egos and everything. And I'm not, a gym is a gym, but I have so appreciated the community at Iron Heaven, and I have met some really fantastic people, including yourself, at the gym. Tim and Brittany and Nick have done a great job building an environment where it's positive.
Yeah.
You don't want to, at least I'm still wrestling with, I don't want to interrupt people when they're working out because I know people are concentrating.
Yeah.
But still to be able to connect over social media, say hi to each other in person after workout, give each other a little bit of encouragement. It's been great to have that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Creighton, there's a couple things that I noticed with you that's really been happening. I think the one that I actually want to spend the least amount of time on is your physical transformation. You've had an amazing physical transformation, though. Can you just kind of describe for the folks where you're at? And by the way, I want to say that she has what's called a pump cover on.
Yes.
And if you go on her Instagram, man, she's got guns.
Gotta be swole every day.
She is hiding quite a bit of mass underneath that pump cover. So tell us a little bit about your physical transformation journey.
Yeah. So obviously started with my mom passing away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of mental health issues, depression, anxiety. Kind of just took a toll on me, like working with all those emotions. And when you're going through a lot of life issues, you happen to sometimes let go and you gain weight.
Yeah.
And so I reach about 200 pounds.
Okay.
And for me being a little 4'11" girl, that's
4'11".
Yeah, that's quite a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And I just remember just seeing where I was going, and I just needed to make a change. So I think I've been in the gym since 2021. So I would have been either 20 years old by the time that I started going to the gym.
Wow.
Started off at Planet Fitness, then went to Blue Moon. Then I met Howard, and then
Okay.
he encouraged me to come here,
Cool.
and I've been here almost 2 years and
Wow.
about 75 pounds down.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
That's awesome. Good
crazy. I
job.
know.
75 is awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's hard to think about, but your mind takes a little bit to catch up with everything sometimes,
Mm.
but yeah, that's my transformation.
Creighton, I think what really caught my attention recently, where I was like, I knew we needed to have a conversation, was yes, you've been through a physical transformation. And I don't want to make that sound um, small, because that's a huge transformation, 75 pounds. At the same time, over the years, having been involved in a little bit of fitness, not competing at all, but I've seen people be able to go through periods of like intense self determination and lose a bunch of weight, but I think just not like emotionally heal at the same time.
Yeah.
And so while they're able to do that for a minute, I see a lot of going backwards, and not that physical weight is a measure of anything. I don't want to put that pressure on people, right? But just recognizing that for wellness, there's not just a physical component, there's emotional and mental part of it.
Huge.
But I've really watched you from a distance or from social media flourish. I really feel like, I know you went through a bit of a hard season, especially this year, it seemed like. And now you're at a place where, I don't know how to say it, but like the light on the inside is like
Yeah.
blasting out light, right?
Yeah.
And I see your faith in God has really become so important and strong for you. I see your just vibrance in how you're approaching life. And that's not to say there's not challenges, but there's something different going on for you, I think. I think there's some type of internal transformation. Um, is that fair? Am I making that up? Or do you feel that too? Do you
No,
feel it
it's
on the inside?
100% correct. Yeah. And with fitness, everybody thinks it's just about weight loss, but it's all in your head and it's all in your soul. So there's a lot of transformation that has to happen in those areas to even get this far, for sure. Yeah. And I do feel lighter, like emotionally, I feel lighter and I feel more connected with people
Mm.
and especially with God.
Mm.
That's still like a relationship that I'm trying to heal too. But yeah, we're on the right path. We're going forward. So yeah, I'd agree.
Can you talk a little bit about whatever you're willing to share? And I know we talked a little bit about this before in the past, when we met for coffee and talked about even potentially doing this. Are you are you willing to, you kind of touched into it a little bit about your mom passing away. Are you willing to share what would you be willing to share around the background that you're coming from and some of what you've had to step into and heal and overcome yourself? Can you kind of give us where you're coming from so that we can understand that reference point, if that's okay?
Yeah. So when my mom passed away, I was 18 years old. She had major depressive disorder and possibly a borderline personality disorder as well. And so, this is like a life of events from childhood up until that point. And when she passed away from suicide, that kind of death, when you're at a young age like that, it alters your perspective of life
Yeah.
and your self-image. So I had to really work through feeling worthy, feeling deserving of good things, and realizing that there's nothing that I could have done to prevent it and where my responsibility lies with other people too. So
I'm really
it was a
sorry
lot.
that happened. That
Yeah.
is really hard. Of course, with the passing of anybody, you deal with the sense of grief and sense of loss, and that relationship is um, kind of gone, at least for now. And um, but with the way that your mom passed, it sounds like you really had to think through what does this mean? Was this my fault? Did I not do enough? Could I have done something?
Mhm.
Um, you know, the stages of grief, and we've had people on the podcast who talked about the stages of grief, and it's not linear all the time, but there's negotiation, and so you're bargaining.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you had a lot of bargaining that you were having to do, or how do you feel like that played out?
I definitely had a lot of bargaining, and I mean, I'm pretty sure I felt every single emotion in the world. So, um,
You talked about, could I have done something different? Could I have done something
yeah.
more to have my mom stay? Is
Yeah,
kind of how
like,
I take that.
thinking, yeah, like, maybe I could have done something better or to keep her around, or maybe I wasn't a good child, or maybe I wasn't there enough for my mom, or, you know, checking in enough, things like that.
Mhm.
But the reality of it is when somebody's going through a mental health issue, from a mother and a child relationship, being at that age, you know, you're not responsible for your parent. As much as you care about them,
Mm,
you're not responsible for how they feel, how they take care of themselves,
mm,
um, their resources, everything about their life you're not responsible for. And I had to really tell myself that and get it in my head, because now that I'm older, I'm like, I'm only responsible for myself.
mm,
And so if I ever had a kid, I would I would never want them to feel like they're responsible for
mm.
my well-being in taking care of me or making me meals or trying to get me up out of bed and stuff. So
I
it
think that's
was a
really
rough,
mature.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was a rough childhood with the bargaining.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
really sorry. I feel for your mother. In my sphere, I have I'm aware of people who have major depression disorder and what that does and the statistics. Um, and I feel like looking back, there's not been a lot of resources from a mental health standpoint,
No, not at all.
and now we see it more. I mean, this shirt that I'm wearing, the green is for mental health, right?
Yes.
And I feel like at least in America, this society, we're starting to turn the corner a little bit on um, recognizing that mental health challenges are a real thing
Yeah.
and affect many, many people, and that we need to have compassion and understanding towards that. And people can be very high functioning
Mhm.
while at the same time dealing with challenges that uh, we may not see on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you every person that you walk past probably has some kind of issue
Mm,
or has dealt with previously some kind of mental health issue.
mm,
So, and I'm really glad that as a society we are more open to speaking about suicide and mental health issues, because I don't think we realize how common and how like needed it is to talk about that stuff, cuz nothing gets healed when you are just bottling it all inside.
mhm,
That's what community's for. That's what family's for. That's what friends are for. That's what God is for,
mm,
especially.
mm.
So, yeah. Shutting it down, it's not the route anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this as you were talking. And you just never know, right? Like I think about he's kind of become a little bit of an example of this, but Robin Williams, he may be beyond your time, I don't know.
And yeah, I know.
Okay. But, he's somebody that you'd say, "Oh, he's happy all the time and he just brings laughter," but yeah, he was obviously struggling with his own challenges, right? And
Yeah.
so you just never know. You never know. It could be the person who's bringing the most laughter and the brightest sunshine in the room who um, is struggling the most, and so it's just you just never know. You just never know. And to just have compassion on, um, really everybody. Um you talked a little bit, Creighton, you just kind of pressed into a little bit about um, community and God and how that's needed to help in hard times. Can you talk a little bit more about that? What does that
Yeah.
mean to you?
Um, for a community, it's all just support. Like it's the foundation of a good life. If I didn't have the community, if I didn't have the family or the friendships or God, then what would life look like? You
Mm,
know, I'd have nobody to go to.
mm,
I'd have no support system, no resources. And so I think it's really important to get close to God and have a community and have a tight family and build those relationships because people need people.
mm,
That's, we're human. We need that connection.
mhm,
It's not fair to go through life without community and God and family and all that good stuff.
mhm.
So I'm really glad that I found it here, especially in the gym community. I would not have gotten as close to God as I am today without this gym community. Like I
Interesting.
really would not have.
Mm,
The the quotes up there,
mm,
iron sharpens iron,
mhm,
and all the other good quotes that they have.
mhm.
Even just some of the people a part of BR Physiques, they're close to God, and that's opened up my perspective. Yeah, so the community is definitely needed. With family, um, every family has their own
Yeah,
issues, obviously,
yeah.
but I love them, and I go to them with my issues, and they help me.
Mm.
We all have our own issues, but family is family at the end of the day.
Can I ask you because I think that's so interesting, and again, it's just a tribute to what the Rexiuses and the Langers have built here, and obviously many others who've been a part of that. I mean, you mentioned Howard, who I've gotten to meet Howard briefly. Um, there may be people listening or watching who don't have a lot of community,
Yeah.
and that feels heavy for them, and so they hear you, but they're not sure how do they get community or what do they look for. Um, if you were to give just a couple pieces of advice to somebody, do they need to be active in some fashion to find community? And then how do they know if they have a healthy community? How do they know if the people around them are actually positive and healthy for them? Does that make sense? Kind of what I'm getting at? Like,
Yeah.
what should people look for to know these are good connections? These are healthy connections. These are connections that help me. If you were kind of describe some of the connections that you found at Iron Heaven, like how would you describe what healthy community looks like? How would people know that they have that?
That's a really good question. Um, One thing that I've noticed is community are the ones that stand by our side through thick and thin.
Mm,
Yeah, they're not the ones that just show up when everything is, sparkly and diamonds and everything feels fine.
mhm,
It's the ones that truly care about you
mm,
and you feel seen
mm,
and you feel heard and they push you. They don't just let you be comfortable. They see your potential and they want you to progress in life,
mhm.
in your fitness, career, relationships, anything. So, and that's what I've gotten here, especially with my coach Howard.
Awesome.
And a lot of people in BR Physiques have done that for me too. So, yeah. As far as finding community, you just have to put yourself out there,
Mm,
talk to people, get involved in a church,
mm,
connect people online, get into a gym.
mm,
Yeah, socialize. That's the only way to really find a community is trial and error too.
mhm,
So it's not easy, but you got to do it.
mhm.
Yeah.
I really like what you said about finding people who will stand by you when maybe things aren't going as good, right? I mean, obviously, you want to have friends who are championing you when you're winning
Hmm.
and are like cheering for you and so happy for you when things are going great. I know this year I've dealt with my own things. It's been really hard in a lot of ways, and I've lost some relationships. Some people knew that I was struggling and decided that's not for them, and they completely walked away.
Yeah.
Um, and that was really hard. But I tell you what means a lot to me is the people who, through the midst of, gosh, a lot of change, a lot of hard things, have said in a non-performative way, I want to be connected to you. I support you. I see you. I'm here. I'm championing you. I believe in you. I know this is hard, but I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I've got people in my mind, right? Like through this season who um, have stayed.
Yeah. Like you hear something that they say and you can point a face of who told you that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the people that reach out to you and it's people that text you at 3 in the morning if they really have to, you know. It's hard to find, but
Yes.
there's people out there who will do that for you
Mhm.
and you gotta cherish those. And there will be people who just don't have the capacity
Mm.
to meet you at the level that you need because they haven't gotten to that place themselves yet.
Mhm.
Yeah. They're still working through their own stuff internally.
Mm. How important is it to be able to find that, to if I want to find those type of people, how important is it to also be that person?
Very important. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think that I would have found or I think you have to build yourself first and then the rest kind of follows through. Yeah.
Do you have to do you have to do that perfectly? Do I have to build
Mm-mm,
myself perfectly before I'll be able to find good connection?
absolutely not. No. I am far from perfect. I am not perfect at all. I have so many flaws, but I think being authentic is what makes people also come to you,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Um, but no, you don't have to be perfect. It's just I think you just have to be open-minded and you have to try.
mm,
And I think people see the effort that you put into the self-work and the inner healing and people see where you go and they want to support it and they want to be a part of that. You know, because it's like you're feeding off each other, you know?
mhm,
It's like one person helps you, you help them, and you help, it's like a domino or a
mhm, mhm,
you know what I mean?
mhm.
Building block pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
building a house. You're building a
Absolutely.
team.
Yes. Yes. Um, yeah, I think that's a great example, and it is definitely one of the reasons. I mean, I've been following you for a while, but I was like, okay, we've got to have a conversation now. I know through connection because I see the healing you're going through, and I want others to. And it's not just healing, but like again, I feel like you're flourishing, right? And
Yeah.
I want others to be able to experience that, to know that. And I think you're right now a great example of somebody who's um, doing a lot of the inner work. And that kind of goes to, I know we talked a little bit, you really had to do a lot of work on self identity
Mhm.
and who you are as Creighton, right? Who am
Yeah.
I? And can you describe a little bit of the journey you've been on when it comes to your identity and what have you been going through?
Yeah. That's a big
That's a
question.
loaded
That's
one.
the big
Okay.
question. Yeah.
And you're probably
'Cause
not there all the way yet, I'm
no,
guessing,
I
but
mean, it's a never-ending journey. It's a process, but, old Creighton, she was, like I said, depressed, anxious, just felt very undeserving of good things, didn't feel adequate enough to be successful or create the life that I want, go after my dreams, have the nice job, have the nice relationships, and like the fulfillment that I do now.
you didn't deserve it.
I didn't feel like I deserved it.
Mm,
Yeah. And I think a lot of those feelings came from my childhood.
mm,
So when I was losing all the weight, at the same time, I had to work through a lot of those mental blocks that I had of,
mm,
well, I do deserve this and I do deserve to be happy and I'm so worthy. And people love me. I'm lovable. I'm capable. I mean, losing 75 pounds, not easy. Doing a whole life transformation, not easy. Getting a new job, not easy.
uh-uh.
Nothing. is easy.
Hmm.
That's why we do it. And I think that's where I got a lot of my identity too, is doing the hard things.
That's fantastic. As I think about that, I think there's so many people who would love to go from where old Creighton was to where current Creighton is on and where you're going. But like, what was some of the tipping point for you? Like, what helped flip things towards the positive and believing you can be loved and you can have good things? Like, what started to tip that for you that direction? And obviously, I'm sure it wasn't just a switch and just all or nothing.
Yeah.
But like, what started to give you some momentum that direction? Do you know?
That's a really hard
Is
question.
it?
Man, I really have to
Okay.
think about that one.
Okay.
Um,
Was it more the physical journey? Was it the spiritual journey?
it
Was it?
started physical. Like it really did just start physical. I mean, I knew I was overweight and I just needed to lose the weight, but then it turned into something more.
Mm,
And then I started to meet people. I got inspired. I found role models. I found male figures in my life that I could look up to. I found female figures that I could look up to.
mm.
And I think having those um, role models in your life, it helped you kind of move forward and make those changes.
So you reached a point where you knew you needed to make a change. Hey, I'm in a place, at least physically, that's not healthy, right? And you didn't even probably know the door that was going to
I
open.
had no idea. No.
Yeah, but you at least knew, like, okay, the path I'm on physically, I need to make a change, and you
Yeah.
arrived at that place, right? And we all sometimes get at that place where like this isn't working, and I have to make a change.
Yeah.
But then I'm hearing you also say, like, in that journey, you started down a path where you um, started to be around good connections. You
Hmm.
started to be around healthier,
Healthier individuals. Yeah.
and you started to have that influence. You put yourself in an environment, probably not even totally realizing what you were doing at the time, where you were around people who were going to, in different ways, pour into you to call you up.
Yeah.
Is that
I
fair?
found people that were higher than me, and I'm meeting them there pretty much. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like put yourself into the environment where it's forcing you to grow pretty much.
Mm. Which is something you tend to do, isn't
Yeah, well, often. I have no issue doing that.
it? Yeah. Um, can you talk a little bit more? I mean, that helps us kind of understand the beginning part of the journey and what kind of started things for you, right? You physically you knew something needed to be changed, and then you put yourself around people who were positive role models for you, positive influences for you, and that turned into something more. So now you've got that runway, you're growing, you're becoming healthier, but you're still having to sort out who is Creighton. And I know you haven't arrived and none of us have arrived yet, right? But you've done a lot of work. Um, can you describe some of that work? Have you had to, is it been more about, I don't even know if this is fair to say it this way. Is it been more about tearing things down? Has it been more about building things up and replacing? Has it been a mix of both? Has it been
It's
something else?
it's definitely both. Yeah. It sounds weird, but it's definitely like an internal death.
Okay.
It's like you have to shed so many layers and so many beliefs and thoughts you have about yourself just to get to that point.
Mm,
And, if I can recognize when I have a negative thought and I have to say, okay, is this true?
mm,
You know, is this thought really who I am? Am I being mean to myself? And then I have to reframe the thought.
mm.
And then I have to keep reframing and repetition, repetition, repetition,
How do
practice.
you reframe? I'm not, let's say I'm having the thought, I'm not lovable, nobody likes me.
You're lovable and people like you.
So the reframing is just countering it directly?
Just countering it directly, yeah. And then stacking evidence helps too.
Like how?
Friendships, yeah. Looking
Like
at
inventorying them, or what
yeah,
do you mean?
uh like who do you have as your support system? Well, I can name probably 10 people right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if I've only got one?
Then that's your one.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it's a what do they say? Quality
Quality over quantity.
over quantity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm struggling and I'm thinking, um, no one cares, um, I'm not lovable. One of the things to do is just turn it around and say, no, actually I am.
Yeah.
And to give yourself evidence of something that tells yourself different.
Yeah. Yeah. And that could also be God,
Yeah.
going to the Bible. And sometimes I have to like literally look at myself in the mirror in the morning and say, okay, who am I?
Mm,
And who do I want to be?
mm,
And then I look at my actions, and for that day, my actions should be building the person who I want to be or reaffirming the person that I'm telling myself that I am.
interesting.
Yeah.
You're affirming who you want to be.
Yeah.
That's a lot of self-parenting.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's really mature. That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm having to go through some self-parenting of some past things, and I have to have somebody to guide me through it sometimes.
Yeah.
And now I'm a little bit further along where I kind of get the concept and I can more do it myself. But um, for you, just to sounds like to be doing that on your own, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I got books too that I
Okay.
read. So, I mean, it's helpful when you have, actual resources to go to, but
Yeah.
a lot of it, a book can't change you. It's you that's going to change you. You can take all the information, bits and pieces that you can, but the one thing that's going to, again, change you is yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one else, nothing external can really do it for you.
Mm. You can get external support, but it's not going to.
Yes, but it's up to you to take on that support and
Yeah.
let the support in.
I'm gonna ask you. I apparently like asking you leading questions. I so in the last, I don't know, month or so, Callie, who goes here, um, she challenged me pretty directly on something, and I was like, I don't know how to do that. Like, it was a heart posture challenge about this year in, am I fully surrendering to God? And I'm like, I don't know if I know how to do that.
Yeah.
And her appropriate response back to me was, uh, pray that God transforms your heart so you can know how to do that. How much of your experiences, speaking to yourself, other people pouring into you versus like the aspect of going to God and saying, God, make me more of who you designed me to be. Can you speak to that at all? Is that part of your journey or?
It has been a part of my journey. So my family did grow up religious. I wasn't really in a church that much though growing up, so I didn't have a lot of exposure to it. So like I said, like the Bible and everything is very, very new
Very
for
new?
me
Yeah, cool.
this
Yeah.
year. But I'm putting it on the front line for myself because I know that I need it. Um, so I'm hoping I can get some more of that faithfulness.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
over time.
it's fun to see on your Instagram just you working all of these things that you're talking about together, including your faith, your cats,
Yeah.
which I have cats too, and yeah, just to see, and you're so good about sharing. Very authentically and transparently, just different thoughts that you're having, and also making it really fun too. Like I feel like it's one of the things I'm missing from my social media is more the fun. I'll sometimes
Yeah.
have the deep thoughts, but I'm not as fun, and you keep it fun. And so I appreciate that. If if somebody's saying, "Hey, I want to grow, I want to uh, see myself be a higher version than who I am right now," you're you're very inspirational, Creighton, in my mind. To me, you are. and you can articulate yourself well, you can communicate well. Um, if somebody is kind of struggling saying, I want to become that higher version of myself, can you speak to them in the camera and just give them a couple of advice given where you're at in your journey? Like, what would you say to that person who's maybe like, man, I wish I
They want to be their higher self.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they don't know what to do.
The fact that you are wanting to be a higher version of yourself is, first of all, a good thing. That just means that you have faith that there is a higher version of you and that it's obtainable. Um,
Mhm,
but you just have to, I'd say, look at yourself, really look at yourself and figure out what you can work on. Yeah. What's the next right thing?
mhm.
Yeah.
And what environment can you put yourself in that might take you towards that direction?
The gym.
Yeah.
The gym.
Yeah. Yeah, and finding a good one, right?
The gym and the church.
Yeah,
Gym and the church,
yeah,
yeah.
and finding that healthy community, and Creighton kinda described that, as well, right? Like, being able to find people who, yes, can be with you and celebrate the good times, but are also there and really, probably, I mean, I only know Howard this much, but I'm guessing, like, he's been through it too, right? And so being able to connect with people who you can just tell, like, they've been through the self-work.
Yeah,
You
they've done their inner work, yeah. You can always tell.
how can you tell?
I think it's just a feeling.
Mhm,
I think it's just a feeling, it's a vibe, it's the nonverbal cues,
mhm,
it's the how they show up day in and day out. Yeah. You really have to just look at yourself and figure out what you need to do. Get yourself in a community, get yourself in the gym. Go to God.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Creighton, thank you for going through all this. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us about the journey that you're on currently? Anything that would be something that you would want us to also take away from this time?
It's not easy. Not at all.
Talk about that.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's hard work, but it's well deserved in the end. Yeah, it's worth it in the end.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Do you feel rewarded along the way, or is it
yeah,
okay?
yeah. Because I mean, nothing nothing good comes easy, right?
Mm,
So you have to kind of walk that hard road, and in walking that hard road, you feel like you've earned it, like
mm,
it's a reward.
mm,
You've put in blood, sweat, and tears to get to where you are, and you are here, right? Yeah, so you should feel proud, and you
mhm,
should feel excited
mm,
and worthy that you made it that far.
mm.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, and I'm curious if you do this or not, one of the things that I'm not good at is seeing how far I've come, right? Like being
Yeah,
able to look back and say, "Whoa, a year ago I was here, now I'm here," and kind of celebrating that a little bit. Do you intentionally do that? Do you intentionally track your journey in any?
I do, yeah, because it's really easy to be really critical of where you're at, even though you've made so much progress.
Mm,
It's, "Oh, I could always be better. I can always
mhm,
do something
mhm,
better. I can do something else." But when you look at where you're at and you go backwards and you look at how far you've come, looking at pictures, look at videos, look at text messages, look at,
mm,
your previous connections, and then look at what you have.
mm,
Look at what you've built.
mm,
Look at who you're surrounding yourself with. You know, look at how you felt previously. Look at how you feel now. It's those kind of like differentiating things that you have to consider. Um, but you really have to think about it too, or else you're just gonna get stuck in your
mm,
mind.
mm.
Yeah.
I think that's good advice. I think that's Very good advice. I've had different people talk to me about journaling, and I'm not perfect at it, but I try to.
Journaling's good.
Journaling is good. Do you journal?
I do journal
Do you
often, yeah.
often? Okay.
Journaling and reading and movement is my, like, form of therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect at journaling, but I've journaled a little bit, and so I have breadcrumbs right
Yeah.
along the way now where I can look back and be like, oh, yeah, 6 months ago, that's where I was at. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, maybe you're not perfect at journaling, but leaving yourself breadcrumbs to know where you've been along on the trail, right? To see, oh yeah, I was over there and now I'm over here.
Yeah.
There's beneficial aspects to that.
Yeah. And it should be a ladder, right?
Okay.
It should be like I mean, obviously growth isn't linear, so it might look a little like this,
Mm.
or it could look a little like me, or like this, and then that's kind of how I have to envision it
Mm-hmm.
in my mind.
Mm-hmm. It's not a straight, it's not a straight shot.
No, I
But
wish it was, but no,
yes,
it's not.
I do too. But yeah, the trajectory overall,
Overall,
uh,
it goes up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Thanks. So Creighton here, before we end, how can people best connect with you? If they say, wow, that Creighton looks amazing and sounds amazing, how can people connect with you? What would be the best way to do that?
Via Instagram. Always Instagram. That's like my main social media platform.
All right. Follow you on Instagram. Okay. So Instagram, connect with you on Instagram, engage with her story, send her a message, talk with her. I know you've been super friendly for me at the gym, and we'll offer you advice on getting started in the sauna, which I'm like 20 minutes away from where you are, which means like 0. But yeah, you're a friendly face and a friendly voice at the gym. So you
Good.
now want to be a part of that community for others. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Creighton, for spending time with us. Thank you for sharing your heart. Thank you for sharing your growth, giving us advice on what to look for healthy connections, healthy community, to think about our identity and to want to spend the work and spend the time to become higher versions of ourselves. And you're somebody who clearly, to me, shows that it's worth it. And so I'll encourage you, if you're not already, give Creighton a follow on Instagram. I'll put that in the show notes so that you can find her. And for yourself, learn to connect with yourself. I think that's really the core of what I'm hearing from Creighton. Yes, build connections with others, connect with others so that you can help others be higher versions of themselves, and you can be higher versions of who you are, and that it's worth it. It's worth putting yourself out there for the risk, for the vulnerability, to find those people who are authentic, who will build those relationships with you and connect with you and help you be known and be seen as you're growing and as you're becoming that person that you're called to be. Thank you, Creighton.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Known Through Connection community. Keep connecting, keep helping others be seen, keep helping others be known, and be known yourself.